All right. It is December. I'm going to just pull up some of my notes. Yeah, I've got some notes here in front of me because we're going to dive into a new topic for December. If you are new here, hello. My name is Kelly Ferguson. And over the last 4.5 months, I have been posting daily videos to my channel. Yesterday was 136 consecutive videos. Yes, and the reason why I started this 365-day experiment, um, the thought was to explore connecting deeper to myself through movement and creativity, like a daily practice of that for a minimum of a half an hour a day, like 15 minutes of movement, 15 minutes of engaging in some creativity. That was kind of like the little seed. And I wanted to see where I would end up after a year of doing that. And I did want to document it on my channel, but not from this place of making content or attracting viewers or subscribers or anything like that. So when I first started this, I almost wasn't even acknowledging that fourth wall. I was just kind of very internal, going through my process and it being what it is, And then eventually I started to kind of address like the fact that I may have some viewers here watching me kind of dive in this experiment. And the reason why like movement and creativity felt really important to me is because that's how I connect most deeply to my body and myself and my instincts and intuition. Um, and I also wanted to do this from a place, there's all layers of diet culture and self help culture, lots of different cultures, okay, that influence um, how we connect to ourselves, some in positive ways and some in not so positive ways. One of the things I do is I'm a portrait photographer. So, I'm online marketing my business and sharing and all that kind of stuff. I have at times found myself kind of like wandering in and out of um, feeling pressure to follow trends or things that are popular to either sell or attract people, and also being repelled by that because there may have been something about the approach that didn't quite feel like organic to me or natural to me or just didn't work for whatever reason. And so, yeah, my experience in the online space and running a business and um, even finding my own photography style and voice and way of doing things has been its own journey and exploration. Back in the summer was feeling like a bit disconnected from myself more than usual. And I don't know if it's just kind of the state of the world that the United States in particular is in right now. Just a lot of chaos around that. And just finding it increasingly difficult to be on these social platforms as a consumer and as someone who shares in this space. I guess if I were to lean into a metaphor to kind of describe where I am right now, it's like I've planted some seeds in my garden and there are some blooms and little stems popping up, but I don't know exactly what the flowers are or if they're vegetables or if it's a tree. I don't know. But I feel like there's some new growth also that's integrated with things that I've learned over the 46 years of my life, things I've experienced. So that's all like in the soil. So there's some new things emerging and it's exciting, and I want to, like, cultivate it, you know? And so without forcing, like, any of these things to grow and reveal themselves, um, I just want to be curious about them and, yeah, just explore what kinds of things might be blooming in my garden. I guess that's the best way I can describe the feeling I'm in and the process I've been in over the last 4.5 months. Really tilling the soil, planting some seeds, um, tinkering around in the garden, and pruning some stuff, planting some new things, and seeing what happens. And at the same time, getting to know myself as this gardener and having a different type of relationship to my creativity and my self expression. So that's uh, that's what we're going to be diving into over the next month of December. Is kind of my identity here on YouTube, but I do like the visual of a garden and kind of what I am nurturing here in this space, what I'm growing, and also kind of how I'm tending to the garden. Since I don't exactly know how this is going to unfold over the next couple of days, weeks, I do have sort of a general idea of some things I want to dive into, like a loose structure. And some of that is going to include like some art and mind mapping. And so I'm not always going to be just talking here on my couch, but we're going to go to my art table and explore some things that way. And yeah, we're going to see what themes and ideas and threads and um, are emerging for me. And we'll see where we end up at the end of the month. I'm using language of we'll see kind of how this unfolds because I don't want to strangle this process with like expectations or any sort of forcing of anything. Like, I just want to be in the creative flow with this exploration and discovery. And we are going to see. We're going to see how the garden responds. And if you too are in a space of wondering and figuring out kind of what you're creating and what you're building, even if you do have a lot of self awareness about who you are already, but feel like things are kind of shifting into something else, or like the messaging is changing a bit, or maybe you're completely wanting to grow a different garden, join along with me. You're welcome here. I'm going to end it there and continue this tomorrow. See you then.